Imagine a world where every flicker of uncertainty, every subconscious fear, every personal insecurity you possess is not only observed but meticulously cataloged. Now picture that catalog being used against you, not by a person but by an unseen inhuman intelligence designed to keep your eyes glued to a screen. What if I told you that this isn't a dystopian fantasy, but the unsettling reality we navigate every single day? In this modern age, a new kind of dread has emerged, silent and pervasive, shaping our perceptions and subtly dictating our emotions. It's called algorithmic anxiety, and its origins are far more chilling than you might suspect. To truly grasp the insidious nature of algorithmic anxiety, we need to rewind a little, back to a time before glowing screens and endless feeds. For millennia, human connection was organic, messy, and fundamentally human. We built tribes, communicated face to face, and our social structures evolved from genuine interaction. Then came the internet, heralded as a revolutionary tool for connecting humanity, bridging distances, and democratizing information. Early social media platforms like MySpace and the nascent Facebook promised to extend our reach to keep us in touch with distant relatives and old friends. The initial intention, at least on the surface, felt benign, even utopian. We uploaded photos, shared thoughts, and felt a novel sense of global community. But beneath this veneer of digital camaraderie, something far more complex and ultimately more sinister was taking root. The engineers weren't just building platforms, they were constructing vast, intricately designed psychological ecosystems. They were meticulously collecting data, not just on what we clicked, but on how we felt when we clicked. Every like, every share, every fleeting glance at a post became a data point, feeding a nascent intelligence that was learning at an exponential rate. It began with simple metrics, increasing engagement, maximizing time spent on the app. But as these systems matured, their goals became more sophisticated, more invasive. They learned our patterns of attention, our triggers, our vulnerabilities, and this knowledge, once accumulated, was weaponized, not with malicious intent in the traditional sense, but with a cold, calculated efficiency, all in pursuit of one singular, relentless objective: to keep you scrolling. But how does this abstract concept of an algorithm translate into the very real, visceral experience of anxiety? The shift from organic interaction to algorithmically mediated connection wasn't just a change of medium, it was a fundamental alteration of how we perceive ourselves and others. Social media platforms, in their relentless pursuit of engagement, discovered a potent psychological lever: comparison. They learned that showing us filtered, idealized versions of other people's lives, curated effortlessly by their own algorithms, created a subtle, gnawing sense of inadequacy. We saw perfect vacations, flawless appearances, and celebrated achievements, all while our own lives felt, by comparison, mundane or imperfect. This wasn't accidental, it was a feature, not a bug. They understood that this feeling of missing out, or FOMO, is a powerful driver of continued engagement. If you feel like you're not keeping up, you'll feel compelled to check back, to see what else you're missing, to perhaps post something that you hope will elicit a similar envy from others. This creates a relentless, self-reinforcing feedback loop, and it doesn't stop there. The algorithms are constantly testing. They'll show you divisive content, knowing that outrage or indignation is a far more powerful emotion in generating shares and comments than contentment or agreement. They introduce scarcity, the idea that a trend or piece of information is limited or fleeting, making you feel like you need to act now, to comment, to share, to consume. They've perfected the art of the variable reward schedule, much like a slot machine. You don't know when the next like or positive comment will come, so you keep pulling the lever, endlessly checking, chasing that unpredictable hit of dopamine. This constant state of low-level emotional arousal, the perpetual fear of missing out, the subtle encouragement of self-comparison, and the engineered divisiveness all coalesce into a pervasive mental fog. It's not a sudden panic attack, but a chronic underlying hum of unease. It's what happens when your subconscious is constantly being prodded and poked by a system that knows your weaknesses better than you do. The architects of these systems, often brilliant and well-intentioned in their infancy, inadvertently unleashed a torrent of psychological manipulation, creating platforms that thrive on our insecurities and exploit our innate human need for belonging, twisting it into a digital performance where validation is fleeting and manufactured, and anxiety becomes the default emotional state. Now let's peel back another layer and look at the intricate mechanics. The algorithms don't just guess, they deduce. They record everything. The time you linger on a specific type of post, the comments you ignore, the profiles you secretly stalk. They build a shadow profile of your deepest anxieties and desires. For instance, if you've ever searched for solutions to insomnia, the algorithm might subtly suggest articles about sleep disruption or, more insidiously, ads for weighted blankets, not just once but persistently. Or perhaps you've expressed a political opinion online. The algorithm, recognizing your engagement with that topic, will then flood your feed with increasingly extreme or one-sided content, not to inform but to deepen your conviction and, crucially, to keep you engaging with the platform. This creates echo chambers, reinforcing existing beliefs and making genuine discourse almost impossible. When people are confronted only with information that confirms their biases, their anxiety around differing viewpoints can soar. This isn't a conspiracy, it's an optimization strategy. The more your emotions are engaged, positive or negative, the longer you stay. The longer you stay, the more data they collect. The more data they collect, the better they become at predicting and ultimately influencing your behavior. We are not just users, we are subjects in an ongoing, massive behavioral experiment, with our mental well-being often being an unfortunate casualty. The evidence of this algorithmic anxiety is palpable. Rising rates of depression and loneliness, particularly among younger generations who have grown up entirely within these digital ecosystems. Studies link increased social media use with poorer self-esteem and heightened feelings of social isolation. We are connected more than ever before, yet many feel more isolated than at any point in history. This isn't just coincidental, it's a direct consequence of systems designed to monetize our attention, even at the cost of our peace of mind. The constant barrage of notifications, the pressure to maintain an online persona, the fear of being canceled or judged, all contribute to a state of hypervigilance and unease that permeates our daily lives. The algorithm has become a silent, ever-present overseer, subtly nudging us towards an anxious existence, disguised as connection. So, what does the future hold for a generation steeped in algorithmic anxiety? Are we doomed to an existence governed by unseen forces, our emotions perpetually manipulated for profit? The true unsettling nature of this phenomenon is that it's not easily escapable. Deleting an app won't undo the psychological conditioning. The patterns are ingrained. However, understanding the source of this anxiety is the first crucial step toward reclaiming our agency. It's about becoming digitally literate, not just in how to use the tools, but in how the tools use us. It means consciously curating our digital diets, seeking out diverse perspectives, and engaging in real-world interactions that provide genuine connection and belonging rather than the manufactured validation of a like button. It means recognizing that the idealized lives portrayed online are often carefully constructed illusions, and that our own authentic experiences, with all their imperfections, hold far more value. The truth of algorithmic anxiety is not just about the discomfort it causes, but about the profound questions it raises about our autonomy in an increasingly automated world. Can we truly be free, mentally and emotionally, when our internal landscapes are constantly being mapped and influenced by external, non-human intelligence? The answer remains to be written, not by another algorithm, but by our collective choice to confront this silent dread, to understand its mechanisms, and to consciously choose a path toward a more genuinely human future. If you want more perspectives on the unseen forces shaping our world, the next video dives into the subtle art of subliminal messaging in modern advertising.